Brought to you by Penguin.
The Child Left Behind. Written by Gracie Hart. Read by Janine Birkett. The moral right of the author has been asserted. Chapter 1. Woodlesford Village, near Leeds, 1866.
Bastard, bastard, you're nothing but a bastard.
The schoolchildren's taunts echoed in Victoria's ears as she ran down the cobbled street. She brushed away the tears from her eyes. She hated them all. They would never let her forget that she had no father, and that her own mother had abandoned her, even if she had left her in the loving, capable hands of her Aunt Eliza. She sniffed and snivelled, and clutched her snap-tin close to her, along with her chalkboard, as she rubbed her hand across her snotty nose and tear-stained cheeks. She wanted to put on a brave face before returning to her aunt in her small dressmaker's shop. She loved being at the shop, but her classmates made her life impossible. She wasn't the only one who didn't have a father, but she was the only one who wasn't allowed to play roughly on the streets, and the only one who had someone at home spending time encouraging her to get a good education. In class, she was the teacher's pet. This gave her jealous classmates an opportunity to pick on her when they felt aggrieved by the attention shown to her. That was exactly what had happened that afternoon, when she had recited a poem, word for word, without fault, and the teacher, Mrs. Kirk, had given her the apple from her desk that everyone had coveted for showing so much promise. Victoria knew as soon as the school bell was rung by the headmaster that she would be bullied on her way home, especially by brash Tilly Harrison, whose head had been shaved to get rid of nits and had impetigo scabs on her face. Tilly was part of a family of 10, and they all lived in one of the slum houses down by the canal. Victoria knew she was no different from Tilly. She and her Aunt Eliza were also poor. But as it was just the two of them, she did not want for love and attention, which was probably why Tilly hated her so much.
"Now, what's all this about? You look as if you've been crying again, my sweetness."
Eliza dropped her sewing and went to comfort her niece as she entered the small dress shop.
"I didn't want you to know, but I can't help it. They made me so sad, and that Tilly Harrison is just a bully."
Victoria sobbed as soon as she felt the comforting arms of her Aunt Eliza around her. She'd really tried to hold back the tears, but as soon as she had seen the concern on Eliza's face, the tears had welled up again.
"Oh, now, don't you let her get you down. Remember what I told you? One day you will be the Princess of Woodlesford, and you'll want for nothing. And she'll not even dare look at you, let alone talk to you."
Eliza pulled an offcut of material from one of her shelves and placed it on Victoria's shoulders like a royal cloak.
"There, Princess Victoria. Here I am, your faithful servant, and if I may suggest, Your Highness, going home for some supper? Perhaps caviar and salmon will be on the menu this evening, followed by who knows what for pudding."
Eliza wiped her niece's tears and kissed her brow before putting away the dress she was working upon.
"I've had Grace Ellishaw in today, my love. She ordered a new dress from me, so that will keep the wolves from our door for another month or so. I must say I was ever so thankful. I didn't have much work on the books until she made her appearance."
Eliza tidied her sewing away and reached for her shawl and bonnet and placed them both on as she watched Victoria looking gloomily out of the window.
"In fact, it was so quiet that I made you this out of some old rags. I thought that it might cheer you up a little, although now you are nearly 9, you are perhaps getting too old for dolls."
Eliza reached for a floppy rag doll from under her sewing, which she had quickly put together from scraps of leftover cloth.
"She's got a real happy
Sample complete. Ready to continue?